Hi guys. Okay, so still in the middle of spaces here, but I wanted to do a little longer of readings. I've been doing really short readings, but I'm really feeling the energy today, and I was just, and I got some new, I got some decks out that right now all my decks are down off the shelves, and it's kind of interesting because they were up on a shelf, and I kind of usually when I do readings will sit back and kind of just let the decks kind of call me to them. And I brought down a lot of decks off the shelf and been working with some of the older decks that I haven't used for a while. And I'm like, okay, so today I picked the Solace Oracle, and it's a healing and pendulum oracle. I really do love the imagery on these. It's just really bright and vibrant, but it does have a lot to do with trauma and healing. And today, as I was thinking, I'm like, oh, right now the energy is like really, really driving people forward to do this really last part of some major healing that's been going on collectively. But I'm like, it's not easy to do here. We're emotional beings, and it's important for us to remember that we are emotional beings. It's easy to completely cut off our emotions or be over emotional about things, and it's all about attaining a balance, you guys. I've also picked this because right now I feel like it's really important as we're going through a lot of planetary stuff, as always, but some big stuff, guys. But the Sustain Yourself Oracle. It is going to be mainly oracles today, and then the Spiral Oracle, which is one of my absolute favorite oracles. It's really I get DNA, generational ancestry, messages from deep, deep, deep within, and really helpful and straightforward advice from these cards. Oh, and see, I got my phone clamped to it's like a TV tray I'm doing these readings on. So if the camera shakes every now and then, it's just because I'm shuffling and stuff. And then we're using the Accurate AF Tarot. And it was interesting because when I was getting all these decks ready for this reading, I was thinking, man, we're emotional beings. Today I'm going to address a longer reading about just being a emotional human being and how this is growing. It's helping to grow our energy and grow our spirits into a much more calmer, peaceful place. And over time, and I was also kind of went down I always call it going down a rabbit hole, but sometimes I just wake up and I'm just driven to do something, look up stuff, research stuff. And today it was Saturn. And the planet Saturn, which is also known as kind of the father of time, the father planet, also dealing with authority, with Saturn in Pisces. It's just that emotion with this really authoritative and owning your responsibilities, your personal boundaries. This is all stuff that can make us very overly defensive or overly emotional when we're really trying to mature, in our thinking and in the way we react with our emotions and our feelings. So I was shuffling, and the Spirit of Cups flew out of the deck, you guys, which is the King of Cups. So that is being in control of the emotions, also being there to listen to others and their kind of emotional journeys and their emotional experience on this planet. It's really neat that kind of came out, because that's kind of why I wanted to do this reading. That's the energy that's kind of, and I don't know if it's that Saturn energy or what, but so I did get a little card holder. I don't know if you guys can see, probably not that, but I'm gonna, I don't know how this is gonna work, you guys, but I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work. Well, I'll show them to you, but this will be so I can help hold these, because it's just going to be weird looking at the floor. Okay, so really first, I do want to get 3 of the tarot, and if I need to, I will clarify. Like I said, this isn't going to be as short as these recent ones, because I really want to take my time with this reading. I will be reading probably out of the few of the books to either, add to what I'm saying, or it's going to confirm to what I'm feeling, so that you can hear it straight from the book too. Sometimes these the book messages don't go with the message I get intuitively, and that's fine too, because maybe it's still meant for somebody to hear it the other way too, if that makes sense. So we got the Dawn of Cups. This is like the Page of Cups. It's about our own emotional discovery of ourselves, our own emotional kind of new emotional beginnings too. I feel the Page of Cups also, like, it's kind of like different parts of our life we learn to feel emotionally about, and it's like we're kind of restarting certain emotions, certain restarting new perspectives and stuff on our emotions too. It's like a whole new, like, kind of a fresh outlook on emotions, on the emotional approach you take to everything that you're curious about, everything that you're that kind of makes you feel, you know, that's what I want to say. The next card is through the Eight of Swords. Overcoming fears and self-entrapment. Overcoming fears. Keeping ourselves trapped. Fearing maybe our emotional journeys or the new emotional chapters we have to take in our time, in our lifetimes as we mature and we grow. It's really important not to hold ourselves back from staying in an emotional immaturity. You know, that's kind of what I'm feeling there. And then we got the Four of Wands, prosperity and harmony. This to me is stability and balance, and it's just also like attaining like that that comfort that comes from being around others also, but also it's like, oh, and then on the bottom, look at that, the Ace of Rings, which is like the Ace of Pentacles in this deck, you guys. And this is directed towards earth material stuff, earth energy, earth matters, which is what this I'm trying to get out here, is that these lessons and these, and as I was meditating, I was thinking, man, Saturn, you know, this is really important stuff. It's how we grow here on this earth. It's how we handle our emotions. It's how we move forward and we don't keep ourselves stuck in old patterns or old behaviors, old immature, impulsive decision making. We grow up, we become responsible with our emotions, especially because that can influence a lot of things. It can influence your jobs, it influences your relationships. It has so much influence, you guys. So with that being said, there's a feeling here of releasing yourself and ourselves from this feeling like we can't move forward, like this is all there is, like this is the only emotion that there is, or this is the only thing about life that matters, or when we have dreams and we have things we want to go for, and maybe we've been taught, also Saturn's about conditioning in our old teachings, and it's very traditional, and it kind of has like an emperor energy to me, or like a, even Hierophant kind of, it's a mix of like a couple different, out of the tarot, it's a mix of different energies, but it has that really, it's good to have rules and regulations and stuff, but depending on what we've been taught and what we've been brought up in, those things can hold us back and hinder our ability to think that that there's more, or that we can move forward past our old beliefs, old reactions, old stuff like that, when we can. And we can do that especially by working on our spiritual, the spiritual aspect of ourselves, the energy, which, you know, if you've watched my channel, you know, energy and spirit or soul to me is one and the same, really. It's very, okay, so, it's the same to me. It's just our energy, our flow, going with our spiritual, alignment. And if you don't want to look at it spiritually, look at it energetically. That helps a lot of people, I feel like, when, if you're resistant towards, I mean, I think we're all resistant towards labels, and I hate that a lot of things are labeled and there's taboo on a lot of things, but this is real stuff. Energy's real, you guys, and it's, ooh, real. Ooh, okay, so this is the card. Wow. Ooh, I am getting like a push and pull energy from this. I'm getting like a... Now, this deck specifically, it's strange, but intuitively, I get that push and pull. Maybe somebody really helping pull you into, or pull, like a push and pull, like back and forth between two energies, where one might be resist. And I was just talking about like resisting, like no matter what you resist because of the labels and the conditioning, there's still energy trying to pull us forward, move us forward out of, what I feel is like there's like a shadow energy to this too, where it's like kind of pulling us out of, and it doesn't look pleasant for either of these energies. It looks rather grueling both ways. It's like, oh my gosh, you know. And there is a feminine and a masculine energy to this too. And it is a number 7 too. So I am going to read that. I will tell you, this deck is one of those decks that usually but I've had really... When I first read a couple of these cards, I'm like, oh, that's not what I felt at all. Like, it was completely different. Because this is a lot about... healing, escaping like trauma. I feel like narcissism, abuse. There's a lot of things here about our human relationships in this deck that I'd say are quite shadowy aspects of, especially relationships and stuff like that. And I don't, but our relationships are an important part of being here. Even though I don't like to focus on those relationships, it is a huge thing for people. But I feel like the most great thing we can do for our relationships is work on ourselves. Not focus on the relationship, focus on your relationship with yourself if you're going to focus on a relationship. But this is a really kind of gives me like a little grueling energy there. It's interesting. Okay, so it is a number 25. What's the name of the card? And I do kind of like that because you get a chance to intuitively read it before you actually read it. And I do that. And that's why I've been kind of going through my decks and going, oh, you know, I never read the book to this. I usually just do the cards and look at the art, and that's, you know, use my basic knowledge of the things I know to read. But it's nice to sit down and read the books that come with the decks, if the decks come with books, because, you know, you never know what you're going to get from them. And I've said that before, too. It just takes up more time when I'm doing readings and stuff like that. So, ooh, it's called Last Breath, you guys. Wow. I was feeling that at the beginning of this reading, like that last push, that last bit of releasing and healing that needs to happen so we can move forward emotionally and grow into a more mature energy, especially around our emotions and stuff. Ooh, this can be, and I was feeling that like the Saturn energy, which is like that. And this 8 of Swords is right in the center of this reading, and it's that feeling constrained and feeling trapped and feeling stuck and feeling held back, which I feel is a very like, but it's very self-imposed too. And it's, the key words are suffocation, a fleeting breath gone, just like you. Wow. You know, now that I'm reading those keywords, if you look at this, it almost looks like somebody could be, it looks very, it could be, you know, this feels very volatile, like in a way. And that really is interesting. It says, can you love another person too much? You know, this is about releasing our control, knowing we can only control ourselves, not trying to control another, not trying to pull others into energies or even growth that they don't want. Like I said, it's about focusing on you. Even though we want our relationships to grow with us, that's not always the case. And when we become controlling, which is also, that can be a negative side effect to Saturn too. We can become controlling, overbearing, rigid about our beliefs, about the way we think things should be going. And we need to allow for change, and we need to allow for acceptance in what we can't change. And that, I always go back to the Lord's Prayer with the serenity prayer, excuse me. You know, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Consider a situation where you actually end up pushing that special gift of love right out of your life. Like that self-sabotaging energy here. This is what is I'm reading the card. because your insecurities and fears, and this is where we grow with this Dawn of Cups, and we discover about ourselves how we emotionally react to things that we feel insecure about, or we're not quite sure of ourselves. We're especially in the emotional body, if you are just starting a new kind of emotional endeavor with yourself, trying to learn more about, like, why do I feel that way about that, or why am I drawn to that, or why does that make me feel this way. We need to be very aware and mindful that we can hold ourselves back from really good things and security and balance and relationships. And that Four of Wands can represent even marriage, commitments. It's prosperity, it's harmony, it's getting along with others because of self-sabotage, because we want to make it the way we want it to look. And that's just not the way it works, you guys. Everybody is learning at their own pace. It says you might be holding on so tight that you start suffocating the relationship. It's not attractive. And that's maybe what this is being depicted in this card, is like a suffocation, like a choking, which is interesting because you could be choking somebody else out where they just want to run and not be a part of your life, or you could also be holding yourself back to, like, from embracing something new and could be really good because you're so headstrong about it being this one way, or this is what you were taught this relationship should be like, or this should be, our conditioning, our teachings. We have to really go within and look at the way we emotionally handle things, including, like, our fears of losing things or not attaining balance or relationships that are healthy. It's not attractive, and it can bring on great heartbreak. Is this happening to you or someone dear to you? Look deep within the truth of this message. What is causing this problem? Jealousy or insecurity are lower vibrations, and they can pull couples down into destruction. If someone has something extraordinary, then they should simply cherish it. Yeah, they need to lean on the strength of the relationship and the power of its existence. If it's meant to be, it will be. Not pushing too hard, not holding ourselves back from what we want by our own insecurities and fears. And if we're jealous or we're insecure, it's obviously because we feel like something in us, we're comparing. There's a comparison, and we should not compare ourselves to others. It is a very hard thing for us humans to learn that. That's a hard lesson when especially if you were brought up to believe, oh, you're not worthy, or you have rejection issues, or you have abandonment issues, or you have acceptance issues. You didn't feel accepted, so therefore you don't accept that anybody would accept you the way you are because you're tarnished, or you're, this does deal with a lot of old feelings we need to heal and release and realize that isn't us. It's on the past, it's on the karma, it's on the family, a lot of family healing here. This can all be healed, you guys. It's just being aware that you are worthy and you're great. And if somebody or something doesn't see that, we can't force that. You cannot force that. You can try, but it just makes you feel ugly and look ugly. Try looking at it from a different angle and give space as needed. Time apart is healthy for couples, and it's okay to have separate interests and hobbies. Importantly, you need to build trust in your relationships and give it freely. There shouldn't be relentless interrogations or nonstop questions, which only highlights insecure thoughts. Build trust and don't overprotect. If changes aren't made, love will be lost due to one's controlling and possessive behaviors. And this is it's not just regarding relationships. I'm especially not doing this. I'm reading specifically for relationships. And that's why I said this book it's really based around our relationships. But there is a feeling here of needing to let go and release our control issues. And that is the main highlight of this reading. Whether that is with your relationships, your jobs, whatever you're being rigid about or insecure about, or you think you have to control, that is definitely the energy in the air, and it comes out most in our relationships. We really get to see what we need to heal when energy like this comes through, because we're like, oh, I still don't feel like good about this or worthy of this, or why, and then you have to do that work, you guys. So let's get a actually I'm going to leave those right there, and then we're going to get one of these sustain yourself. You know, if you're filling up for doing your shadow work, it's a good time to do that. So you can untrap yourself, release yourself from your own thoughts, your own self-sabotage, your own holding yourself back. The truth is, if we want something to be and it's not coming to us, maybe it's not meant for us, and there's something for us, like that will accept us the way we are, and we will accept it the way it is. If you can't find that, then it's something inside that needs healed. It's something inside that you need to look at, about your expectations or your unacceptance or something like that. This is definitely freeing yourself up from those thoughts that keep us stuck in situations and choosing to stay in these mental self-sabotaging thoughts and behaviors that keep us isolated from people and from relationships and from being happy and stable and secure in our community, our relationships, stuff like that. So the card I got from this was sheep. It's interesting because it kind of looks like a continent there. Kind of looks like Australia. But I'm also just seeing all these sheep. I am going to read that, and it's population. On the bottom, diversity. And that's really what I'm feeling too, is like acceptance of like differences. And there's so many people out there going through similar energies and just really trying hard not to smother, not to control, to release old like things that just haven't been working, to find a new emotional way of handling our lives and handling our insecurities and handling our growth, so we can have stability and security and trust in ourselves most of all. And we can be seen, and we can do the work that can be seen by others, that, hey, we've done this, and now there's success. Now we've learned something that's specifically taught by our higher guidance, not by conditioning, not by society, but following our emotional, our own emotional lessons and paths, and really learning from that, you guys. So let me read this sheep. Population. Empathically empathically mirror others and go your way with others. Follow along to get along. Collective intelligence knows what works. Imitate the wisdom of the masses. None of us are as smart as all of us. Large groups are more ecologically efficient, safe, peaceful, powerful, and survivable by the size and numbers than individuals and small groups. Link, connect, gather, share the common. Domesticate and tame your wildness and curb your individuality. Let go of your ego and be ordinary. Join the majority. Ooh, that's kind of interesting because, you know, I'm kind of I feel like, you know, I guess I kind of go against a lot of the mass energy. But sometimes it's better to become a part of that and not hold yourself back from that. And it's usually because of like narrow-mindedness and feeling like maybe we won't belong, and that's emotional stuff that needs healed. This Dawn of Cups, it's having a new emotional idea about who we are and how we can handle our emotions about certain things that maybe everybody's doing something. And I don't ever say like go along. I'm not going to be one of those people that say go along with the masses, go with the flow. I mean, go with your own flow, but your flow might not go with the masses, and that's okay, because I kind of feel like that spiritual rebel kind of energy, and I have that unique, like, but really to recognize that you're not alone and you're not, to seclude yourself from others and like-mindedness doesn't mean you're gonna necessarily be okay or get along with like everybody. or be surrounded by a whole bunch of people you just love and adore, and they love and adore you, and you all get each other. But this Four of Wands to me does represent friends and family and circles of people that support us, and definitely not holding ourselves back from that connection, that balance in our connections, that celebration of the connections we have, the gratitude, the understanding that there's a lot of different energies in this world, you guys. There is diversity, and it's the earth energy. This is very earth energy, and it's in order to be successful in this body on this earth, we need to know when our energy is when we're holding it back from the collective, because the collective is us and we are it. We are part of it. So we, as much as you don't want to be a sheep, we are human. We are these creatures of connection, and we are creatures of community, and we do need others, and we don't need to push or pull people to us, or push people away by suffocating or just completely rejecting. There's definitely a message there about this, that pushing and pulling feeling I was feeling. So let's give a little advice from the Spiral Oracle for the collective. And all of this is easier said than done, you guys. But you do the work and it comes. It comes. And another thing about Saturn, patience, you guys. Time. We need to be patient with ourselves and others as we're all working through conditionings and restrictions and our mortality and our humanity and how our time here is limited, and we want to do what we can while we're here. We need to utilize that time better by doing what we can with ourselves, and that does not include controlling other people, or and it doesn't involve like resisting other people either. It's really acceptance here. I'm feeling. So on the bottom is the inner sun. These are beautiful. I love the art in these cards. And then we got lucid dream. Definitely a feeling of connection here. I'm going to read that, and these the readings in this deck I absolutely love them. So lucid dream. My consciousness is able to move in different spheres of reality. One of these spheres is the world of dreams, an important part of my life. I was feeling that dream energy, like not holding ourselves back from our dreams. If we want to be a part of a community or part of a something, we can be. But you have to understand there's going to be diversity. There's going to be differences. You're going to need to accept everybody for who they are. And reach for your dreams. Not hold yourself back. Emotionally be mature about what you need to do to attain what you want. I dream every single night, even if I don't remember what I dreamt. The lack of connection with the world of dreams has many sources. One is that humanity has been reduced to unconsciousness in order to adapt to the model of civilization in which we live. That is the conditioning, the restrictions, the society we live in that I was kind of feeling with the sheep. I was like, oh, no. Because that's kind of what I feel. I cannot wait to get our space, guys. It's going to be nice. But that is like, that's what I always feel when I see sheep. I'm like, I don't, I forget the philosophical, like there's a saying, like if you don't question the majority, there's kind of a problem, or it's the masses, I really do feel like sometimes you got to go on your own path, or be the black sheep, and this is a lot of black sheep energy too, you guys. But the lack of connection with the world of dreams, it says, one is the humanity has been reduced to unconsciousness in order to adapt to the model of civilization in which we live. The more conscious I am while awake, the more conscious I am in my dream reality. Today, I deeply appreciate how important the world of dreams is to my daily life. And they are important, whether you remember them or not. It's just like I said, sometimes I just wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm feeling this. I got to do something like with this. And it comes to you in your dreams. It comes to you in your sleep. You may or may not remember it, but it's very important to remember that it serves a purpose in your waking life also, and getting plenty of sleep too. I always feel that when this dreams come up. Oh my mercy, I'm telling you guys. Whew. Today, I deeply appreciate how important the world of dreams is in my daily life. In it lies valuable information about myself. Recovering my dream reality allows me to playfully explore my being, face my fears, welcome questions, find answers, expand my consciousness, and gather creative resources from within. How asleep can one be when one is aware of being in a dream? Yeah, like our awareness of where we're at, that's another message coming through. It's like being aware that we are here on earth. This is kind of a side message off this card, but it's not. It's kind of the same thing. It's like be aware of where you're at and be aware of how you can utilize this space for growth and expansion, and working on fears, insecurities, all these energies, you guys. The key word to this card, which gives like a word, is imagine and potential, which I love because there is a lot of potential when we do this, especially when we're first starting in this Page of Cups, kind of new emotional curiosity about, oh, now that I've discovered this about myself emotionally, what's going to change? What's going to happen? What can I make happen? And then realizing, oh my gosh, I have been keeping myself held away from something I'm a part of, whether I want to acknowledge it or not, whether I'm aware of it or not. I'm a part of this. That's kind of what I'm getting with this card, you guys. It's like these dreams and these realities are a part of you, whether asleep, awake, conscious or unconscious. In your awareness, we are, and it's reality kind of smacking you in the face going, yes, you're a part of this. You're a part of this nature. You're a part of this. And how we handle that emotionally, how we relate to the population, to the masses, and how we relate to ourselves, our insecurities, and other people's energies, how we're pulled and pushed back and forth between what we want specifically for us and what we want for the collective energy too. I'm also getting that. It says, when I visualize, imagine, or dream my future reality, I become an artist of what is to come. That vision for yourself, what you envision for yourself, being a part of something, being connected, being secure in that, having a really nice balance with people and relationships, not holding ourselves back from that, becoming emotionally open and dreamy. The Page of Cups is dreamy energy too. Imagine the best, envision the best for you and your connection to others, and don't sabotage it by thinking you can control that connection. It's natural. It's there anyway. The more we try to control it, the more it fights the natural connection we have to each other, you guys. I become an artist of what is to come. I extract ideas from my dreams and create a model with the unlimited resources of my mind and heart. I may not yet be able to understand in their entirety the things I am capable of doing and knowing. That's that curiosity. That's that energy of, wow, I may not even realize like what I'm capable of doing after I stop putting these restrictions on myself. Like, oh, I don't belong there. Or I'm not a part of that. Or you've been taught, maybe you've been shown and taught, oh, this energy, this sheep energy, it's interesting. It's like, I want to pull more on that. However, there is an unexplored world and infinite potentials waiting for me. An inner fire, pulsing and longing to grow, longing to warm the other side of humanity. Yes, wanting to share yourself with others, bring you to the collective, to the population. But in order to do that, we need to stop holding ourselves back from it. We need to stop trying to control the way people react to us, or trying to be too overbearing or too rigid in our thinking, or controlling of other people's natures, or what they're doing. It's really nice, you guys. Imagination will often carry us to worlds that never were, but without it, we go nowhere. Wow, that is something, like, even if something doesn't exist ever or hasn't that you know of, it still gets you out of where you're at. That dreaming, that curiosity, that movement forward, that what if I let go of this? What if I don't control this? What if I understand my connection to my waking life and embrace who I am, embrace my humanity, embrace my mortality, embrace my life, get myself out of my head and into where I'm at, which is Earth, you guys, people. So that is really nice, you guys. So I actually do want to, I said it wasn't going to be short, and I meant it, but I'm going to get a couple more cards on this. And, that Nine of Swords. Conflict. Anguish. Oh, that worrying, that stress, that anxiety, the fears, the feeling of like being the sheep, you know, and feeling stuck in your head about being part of this humanity, and the shames and all the stuff that goes along with being human, you guys. It's really stuff we're trying to heal right now. Oh, nice. And then we got another ace, you guys, an Ace of Wands. Oh, this is that little spiritual fire, willpower, wanting to get out of that so badly. We have to utilize that courage and that passion for unsticking ourselves out of our heads and putting ourselves into our societies, into our connections, into our relationships, into our villages, our tribes, our friendships. And we got the Ace of Rings again. And this is after I shuffled. So we definitely got a lot of aces here, a lot of new beginnings here. Really nice, you guys. Wow, this is really nice. So, the Hermit, that Dawn of Cups, and that Nine of Swords. Going within, having that curiosity and finding what emotionally has triggered us or kept us stuck or kept us in fear, kept us in a feeling of just torment, you know, tormenting ourselves with this emotional fear and emotional sabotage of adding our spirit to the collective, our spirit to the community or our friendships. Really coming forward with that here with the Seven of Wands, persistence and conviction. Yeah, knowing that you are here for a reason and you are a part of this this world, and this is a way to get yourself unstuck and contribute to your part in the collective, the population. I'm very aware that there's a lot of things being recognized right now, our dreams and our realities coming to head kind of in conflict, but recognizing that it's not really, we're causing a lot of that conflict by not recognizing that in order to expand on the unconscious, on the dream, we have to kind of get out of our own reality. And our own reality is feeling very throughout, and I think this is what we're really working on, is getting unstuck from those fears and pains of being human, and our conditionings, and our just feeling like we can't move because there's just too much mental stuff that still needs releasing, you guys. And then we got this Nine of Cups. After going within and really recognizing your conviction in being here and your spiritual contribution to what you want to move forward with and add to the community, to the friendship, to the relationship, to the collective, to the population, your diversity, your own unique spark. There is a happiness there, a self-fulfillment of going, okay, I may be a part of this, but also this really makes me happy too, to do this, to contribute this. And then on the bottom, we got the star, and this is following your path forward. This is also bringing your spirit to the earth. I always look at the star like that. It's like taking that spiritual energy, that divine energy of yourself, your highest dreams, your highest wishes, your best stuff, and just saying, I'm going to make this happen here. I'm going to combine these two, almost like temperance, but not quite, because this is very guided. And temperance is something we have to work at and we be really patient with. This is like, hey, we're showing you the way. We're showing you the message. You just need to connect it. It's a card of connection to the stars, especially when we don't know what we're doing, where we're going, what we're supposed to be contributing to, what are we, this kind of stuff is where we can really find a new purpose, a new passion, a new dream, a new wish. If the old is something that we're trying desperately to hang on to or to push away, or ask yourself why. And maybe if I release control, I'll just be guided, and I'll just recognize that this isn't the path for me, or this isn't the relationship for me, or this isn't the place for me. Because you have to be curious about your own feelings about everything you're doing, and really go within, really do the work to move forward and go, okay, I found this. I found what is kind of hindering me. I found what I'm scared of. I found what I'm afraid of. I found what's holding me back. Now I have to say, okay, I know that this is imperfection. I know that this is human, but I'm still here for a purpose, and I still belong in this world for a purpose. And I need to bring that to the earth. I need to start planting my seeds of this knowing. Oh, so that's a really, I'm not sure if any of that made any sense. It came out very strong, you guys. So that is the collective, a little collective message I wanted to get for you guys. I wanted to look on the bottom here. Oh, this is beautiful. Look at that. And this is that weird, oh, so weird. So, there's a totally different connection coming in here, you guys, for us. If we just embrace each other's differences and we don't try to control, we just know what we bring to the table, and we stand our ground on that, and we're passionate about that. We set strong boundaries for ourselves, so we don't get pulled into energy that's not something we want to be a part of, and we can be a part of what we want to be a part of, you guys. Yeah, physically we're here, we're part of this diversity, we're a part of this very diverse and just crazy place, but there is harmony there is mutual acceptance and love. And the sun's just popping out on this card. I do want to just look at that real quick and just see what the title of that card is. Kaleidoscope. Perfection is uncomfortable. It hurts like brand new shoes. This newness, this stepping out of like things needing to be a certain way or having to control things a certain way can be very uncomfortable, you guys. It can be very 9 of Swords, 8 of Swords. Like, I don't want to move forward. I'm used to this in this place. I'm used to this emotional security of just kind of being by myself, maybe isolated. I'm feeling isolation. I'm feeling like spirit's coming in hard right now and asking people to stop isolating themselves and come out into the light, into the sun, and connect. And it's kind of like there is going to be things that we're faced with where it's like, oh, I'm not accepted here, or I'm like different than this. And it does hurt sometimes. We're like, ooh, I don't fit in there, or I maybe I'm not a part of that. But you're a part of something, you guys, and it's everything. And recognizing each other's differences as contributions and strengths to each other rather than hindrances and things we want to change or control or push away or reject. Accepting and non-rejection is where this energy is speaking of. It says, learn to love all the pieces of you, flaws and imperfections. I love that, because that's what it is. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm holding myself back, and it's these emotional hangups we have about ourselves, our humanity, our shameful existence, whatever. I've been feeling this a lot, talking about this a lot in my normal life, my waking home life. I've been reflecting on this a lot, like how us humans have just been taught that we're kind of, besides like the great loving, unconditional loving message of like Jesus and all these really powerful messages of acceptance and forgiveness and love, we also have this really big hang up on, wow, but we fucked up, we screwed up, we're horrible animals, we're horrible creatures. Yes, there is a nature there to us, a very animalistic kind of, and it doesn't even mean that's bad. It's just we are human. Like there's something else here that's energetically not just purely earth driven. It's something a little bigger, you guys, and that's a real strong message. So the kaleidoscope, our hearts, wants, and needs are not easily obtained because we are all so uniquely complex. And that is so true. While some are born into this world with a powerful charisma that instantly draws people to them, this is exception, not the norm. That's what I'm feeling with the sheep thing. It's like, oh, I don't fit in with those sheep. I don't belong in that community or that circle. And I've felt that, like kind of that rebel energy too. It's like, man, but it's like about owning that your individual energy, and letting others own theirs, and like accepting that. Because if that had been all along, nobody would feel like a black sheep. Nobody would feel left out. Everybody would be part of the diversity and the connection of us. It's very interesting. These people usually have a way of striking up conversations without hesitation, but a lot of people overthink about what they should or shouldn't say. That's overthinking, holding yourself back. I don't want to join that. I don't want to say that. I don't want to show my spark. I don't want to show my divine energy. Seven of Wands. Stand in your power and create those protective and have conviction in who you are and what your spiritual path is, and who you are as an energy, as a contribution to the spirit of humanity. That's that Wands energy, you guys, that spiritual fire, that bringing that your own spark, your own divine spark to something, and creating something here on earth that's tangible and visible and hands-on, can make you very happy. It's normal for people to fill out a place from time to time, but for some, anxiety, fear, or the thought of being judged by others can be overwhelming more often than not. They may get lost and miss the social norms and cues, such as knowing when to say hello, or may slip up on their words. It makes them uncomfortable when they try to speak in a group or gathering, so they refrain, hold themselves back. Eight of Swords, you guys, keep yourselves out of it. They may talk too much and monopolize the conversation. Now they are embarrassed and even more distressed. I have this specific issue with and I'm like, I was just talking about this yesterday. I'm like, I know I talk a lot. I know when I get going, but that's my energy. I need to own that. I need to stand behind that. That's who I am. And I feel very in my element when I'm doing what I'm doing, talking or rabbit holing, or just, that's my energy. And everybody has their own energy, and you will know when you are doing, because it lights you up. It really does. But to get embarrassed about it, or feel shame or guilt or detachment from your true self because you're afraid of those judgments, afraid of not being a part of the crowd, a part of the population, it's like, it's just not serving us, you guys. That's what I'm really feeling. It makes you more isolated. It takes away something from the collective. It takes away something from the world when you dim your spark, or you dim your light, or you don't, you hold yourself back from being a part of something that you absolutely are supposed to be a part of. Your contribution matters. Now they are embarrassed and even more distressed. These actions and reactions hold them back from regular social interaction, which is an important part of life, whether we like it or not, you guys. It is. It so is. So important. And I do notice too, in this lucid dream card, there's like a white wolf in the background, and wolves are very social creatures also, and that was just popping out at me, so I thought I would just take note of that. They are encouraged to break free from the restriction of inner voices, that conditioning of, you talk too much, or, that's out there. Like, why would you even say that? Like, this is stuff you hear as a child, especially if you're an outspoken person, or vice versa, you weren't, and people are like, you don't talk enough, but you're a great listener, and you're there, you're contributing, you're honoring your part in society, you're honoring your part in the collective, and that's okay. We're all very different, but we all have a contribution. We all have a unique purpose here on earth, and so we go through a lot of obstacles to complete our intended lessons. With faith, practice, and patience, things will get better. Remember, life is all about trial and error. They should try and push themselves out of their comfort zone a little bit more every day, because it is the small steps that eventually take us where we need to go. Hypnotherapy could also be a great option to consider. Certified hypnotherapists are trained to relax the mind and to help build self-confidence when needed. Where there is a will, there is always a way for us to conquer our obstacles. Just trust in yourself. I've been feeling that. That's a great card to round up this reading. The self-trust, the conviction in your purpose, in your passion, in your specific energy. Having that and trusting that you don't need to change others or control or be controlled or vice versa to have harmony. We can, and we will. With will, there is a way. Willpower, that spark of divine energy saying, yes, you can do this. You can do this. You can own this. You can be a part of this. You can stand in your power with this, and you can be happy contributing this to the whole. I love that. And stepping out of the comfort zone, stepping out of those restrictions. And this is all that Saturnian energy that I was feeling this morning and kind of sitting there meditating on, thinking and just really taking in it. It's very interesting. Just trust in yourself. We are like one giant kaleidoscope, beautiful broken pieces of colored light grouped together in constant change. With the slightest motion, things shift, creating a brand new perspective of ourselves. Yes, because the more we see others in their true self, the more it changes our perspective about who we are also. I'm like, oh, wow, there is a lot of different people, and it's okay. And like the more you see the differences in people and the likes, the sames, it's like, wow, I'm not really that different because everybody's different. So we're all kind of like in that same boat together, guys. So as always, thank you for coming to this reading, you guys. I just wanted to do this. And, after sitting there with this energy this morning, I'm like, I'm going to pull some cards on this because there is some Saturn energy with emotions and the way we feel about like our time here and how we contribute or how we resist like the norm, or we go with the norm, or we just don't feel part of it. It's all very important. It's all important part of our growth and our maturity as spirits here on earth, and our integrity as spirits here in body, energy here, embracing all these lessons and all this, and it does take time, and it takes a lot of self-reflection, and it takes a lot of discipline, and it takes a lot of will and dedication to growing here, to make these changes and to accept yourself. It's hard. It's harder to accept yourself than it is to not. It's easier for us, which is crazy. It's easier for us to not accept who we are or what we are than it is for us to just embrace it. And I feel like this saying, embrace it. So as always, guys, thank you for your likes, your subscribes, coming and watching your video. And as always, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.